Okay, so my last upload was over a year ago at this point, and then all of a sudden, nothing. And I know a lot of you have been wondering where I went, why I stopped uploading, when I'm coming back. And to me, I'm genuinely the most connected with my YouTube audience. And some of you have followed me for over a decade, so I wanted to sit down, give you the full story of what derailed me so hard that I stopped uploading. But I also want to warn you, settle in because this is going to get a little emotional. This might be a little bit of a therapy session for me, and there might be some tears. All right, so let's back it up to about a year ago. I was excited to refresh the channel in a new direction. I think the vegan world needs some entertainment. I think it needs someone to clap back on the vegan haters, the carnivores, just a rallying point, right? I think we need to feel strength in the vegan world, and I think some of the trendiness has died off a little bit. So I came up with this idea for a series called Meat Grinder. You might have seen the first one. It was about Paul Saladino. I was really proud of it. It's a very fun episode. Excited for this series, right? Now, the only problem is that episode took about 50 hours to create. It's not super sustainable. So I had started to work on the next episode, but then I had to put a pause on it because all sorts of family stuff was happening. We were having to help out, travel a lot, and so my time was super limited. So I basically had to prioritize the time that I could spend on IG content and basically making coaching sales because I'm able to promote a lot farther with IG, right? Got to make money, got to sell coaching. That's my primary income, right? Now, my intention was to basically get the next episode out only a few months later after that first Meat Grinder episode, but that is exactly when everything basically went sideways and life started throwing haymakers at us. So one of the first things that caught us off guard is my Uncle Franny, who I'm extremely close with, spent so much time with as a kid and growing up throughout my life. All of a sudden, he got diagnosed with cancer and a few different health problems. So we immediately dropped everything, drove to San Diego. Now, right this current second, we're in Arizona, so that's a 8-9 hour drive. And we basically helped him get to and from the hospital to get his treatments. We set him up with healthier eating habits, lifestyle habits, all that kind of stuff. Stayed there for maybe 2 weeks, and then we head home, right? Have to get back to work. So it's never fun to see people that you love going through medical problems, having major issues, but he was mostly okay. Got treatment, sort of moving forward. Seems like everything's gonna be fine. So we fast forward to December, and this is the first major hit. And basically, we go to the mountains every year, and me and my best friends from childhood, we all get together, Sammy. We just have the best time ever. It is literally one of the things I look forward to the most. And at that trip, my best friend told me that his father, who's been dealing with extreme chronic pain for years, literally as long as I've known him, since the beginning of high school, and he, after a lot of thinking, had decided to go through with the MAID program. It's the Medical Aid in Passing State program. This is not something he took lightly, but the man has been in pain for so long. I literally don't remember any time where he wasn't bedridden and having all sorts of different problems. So he set the date for January. It's just a few weeks after this, right? We go home. We have a week or so to get some work done. We pack up, we come back to San Diego. We always said that whenever that did happen, like whenever his dad passed, we were going to be there for him. And this is a very unique situation where we now know when he's going to pass and we get to spend time with him before. But also just psychologically, that's so weird and so hard to accept, right? And it's just a lot, right? And what I did was I wanted to film his father, John, and basically create a video for my best friend that he can always look at to be able to see his dad whenever he wants to, when he wants to revisit his... I told you it was going to be hard for me not to tear up. But I want to make this video so that he always can hear his dad's voice, see his father, hear him telling these stories about the childhood. His father was an extremely close friend of mine. I loved him so much. Text him all the time, was on the phone, calling him all the time. I had a really close relationship with him. So this was very heartbreaking for me as well, to see my best friend losing his father in real time. But also my own grief, like it was just such a hard thing to accept and psychologically to just go through, to know that someone is going closer and closer to the date and it's coming closer and closer and you're having these great memories and times with them, but you're also knowing that's going to end soon. And it rocked me. We all were so grateful we had the warning, right? We got to spend that time with him. I was able to make that video, which my best friend really wanted me to make and really was grateful for. So I was just ecstatic that I could do that. But it was hard. And, one of the things that his father told me was, that week before he passed, was he basically was telling me how much he loves me, how much he appreciates me, how much he feels grateful for me being in his son's life and knowing that we're always going to be there for each other. And then one of the last things he told me is that he's always thought of me as his son, which felt really good because I've always thought of him as family. I've always loved him. That felt really good, but it also really rocked me. So without going into too much detail, I was there all the way for it. I was there the day of it. I filmed all this. I still haven't actually sat down and edited this video together, but at some point I will, so that he always has that video. But that was hard. That was really hard. And it rocked me. And so as I'm trying to recover from this and trying to get back into the flow of working, and everything I do is so creative, so it really requires me to be in a good head state. It's not just me like making pizza dough and I could like be in any sort of state. I have to be on point, right? So anyways, sort of getting back into feeling, into the groove again, I guess. There's always like that underlying grief for a while, but then in February, so very shortly after, all of a sudden, Franny, my uncle, he went from recovering pretty well, all of a sudden going into hospice. And just a few days after he goes to the hospice, without, really even having an opportunity to go visit him again or really be able to talk to him that much, he passes. This is one of my favorite adults, favorite. I grew up my whole life with Franny. I have so many good memories. He was always the loving, the happy, the positive, the quirky, the weird one. He was always excited to see me. Anything I wanted to talk about, we could go down a rabbit hole for hours. Literally, I didn't know any adult that was like this. And to me, that was huge. That did a lot for me. That grew me a lot. It showed me, certain things that I want to be in myself that I loved in his personality. And it was just awesome. He's just such an interesting and always interested person. And I loved him to death. And one of the hardest parts about this was that this is the only time in my life where some of that Franny spark wasn't there. He wasn't accepting the situation. And it was really hard to see such a strong positive force in my life struggle. Right? It was really hard for me to see. And when he passed, it felt like I was just getting kicked while I was already down. But, it happened. And grief is weird. I was really grateful that I did get to see him recently, and I did get to spend a lot of time with him, and I had been texting him a lot and stuff, but the grief is weird. There's literally no manual for it. There's no right way to do it. And so this one, it rocked me really hard, It's like one and then the other. And when that happens, it just kind of reopens the wound. And, it was really hard for me to get back on track. In the middle of all of this, we also have so much traveling to do. A lot of things in the business that I have to do. So I can't really just take a ton of time, right? And so life was hectic, right? It was a hard one to process. Everyone was really rocked by this. And so that was in February. Fast forward through lots of grief, lots of processing, and accepting and getting better and feeling like I'm getting back on track, finally getting back into full work mode again. I'm starting to make progress again, right? All of a sudden one day, and this is in July, so just, a month or so ago, and I'm in there at the gym in the morning, I'm working out super hard, about halfway through the workout, and I get a call from Sammy, my partner, and just the pain and the panic in her voice. It was unlike anything I've ever heard. So I dropped the weight and immediately ran to my car, drove home. And what happened was that her mom passed in the middle of the night, completely unexpected. And so literally there was nothing else in my mind to do but to go straight there. I said, Sammy, I think we should go there if you want to, if you think you can be there. And immediately Sammy said, yes, I want to be there. And so we hop in the car that day and we head over there, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever it is. And then we stayed at her mom's house, which is also her aunt's house. And as soon as we get there, a day or two later, her aunt leaves. And so then it's just me and Sammy in this house. And this was, I think, really good for us to be there, be around all her mother's things, her mom's dog, just the whole atmosphere. We spent so many times and memories in this house. To me, it was very cathartic, and I think it was for Sammy too. I think it was the only move, right? Craziest thing, though, is this is really, really tough for both of us, right? Seeing Sammy struggle with this loss. This is it is her best friend, really. I mean, it's me and her mom. Those are best friends. She talks to her mom every single day. Such a good relationship with her. Seeing her struggle through that pain was torture. And for me, I was an extremely close friend of her mom. Like, I loved her so much. We spent so much time together. She loved me so much. And so this was really, really difficult for me too, right? And I'm just trying to be there for Sammy, but I'm also processing my own, right? And the craziest thing happens is, I don't know if it's from the stress, I don't know if it's from how I was sleeping, or if I worked out in a weird way or something, but I pinched a nerve in my neck, in my cervical, so upper neck, upper back, and it caused excruciating pain. My ring finger and my pinky were completely numb. My whole body, literally, it hurt to be in any position other than like literally tucking my chin all the way in and like me like this. So for the whole, next week that we're there, I'm literally like on a couch or in a bath like this, because any other position is literally like I'm laying on the ground, like pulling my hair out. It hurts so bad. And there's about a 6 to 8 week recovery time when it comes to a pinched nerve. And so there goes the gym, right? That's my one tried and true outlet for any emotion: stress, sadness, anger, jealousy, envy, anything that I need to process. Man, the gym is like the best therapist I could ever had. And all of a sudden it's gone. So now I don't have my main coping mechanism. It was really hard. I mean, it was tough, right? Now, a month later, we started to accept mom's passing, but because it was so unexpected, it's a slow process. It is hard, and every day is extremely hard, and Sammy is going really, really through it, right? And then we wake up one Thursday morning, exactly 1 month since her mom passed, on the same Thursday, and we wake up to a phone call from her sisters that her father, her pops, passed. Right? This is just literally the worst thing that could happen. It reopened the original wound of her mom and that grief that we felt. And it felt, again, like we were getting kicked. It felt like we were getting punched, sat on, like throwing acid on us while we're down, right? It's like, why would this happen? 1 month, like. And I was extremely close to her pops too. We talked all the time. We texted. We definitely related on a provider role. Like, me and him always are there for the girls, the 3 girls, Sammy and her 2 sisters, anytime they need anything. And that was something that we related on. And I think that's why he had so much respect for me and so much love for me, is because he saw that part of himself in me. And it was devastating. It's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to lose both your parents in 1 month. It's not normal. And I know there's like a lesson in here, right? But it is really hard to see it. Now, the craziest part about this is that I had just talked to him right after mom passed, and I had asked him, because I felt very nervous. I said, in my head, the worst case scenario is that he passes now very shortly after, before we get to see him. And we're originally going to see him in October, but I'm like, that's a bit of time, right? And her father has been dealing with lots of medical issues, and he's had cancer that's gone into remission. He's had some things. So we aren't expecting to have him forever, but we also definitely seemed like he was going to be able to be around for a long time longer. Now, we were already going to see him in August for mom's celebration of life, but I called him. I said, honestly, how do you feel? Because I would be terrified if you pass and how that would affect Sammy. And he assured me, he said, I'm going to be okay. Don't you worry about me. I'm going to see you in a couple weeks for it. I don't want you to spend the time, the money to come out here to the other side of the country when I'm already going to see you in 20 something days anyways, right? Now, I know 100% I can't hold on to guilt. I know that logically, but emotionally, my heart is heavy. It hurts. I had felt that intuitive fear that he might pass, and just knowing that that would be the worst case scenario. And part of me said, I really think I just want to go out there and make sure that we see him. Even if we see him again a couple weeks later, at least we know. I felt that. And I talked to her, Sammy. I talked to the sisters' husbands, and everybody felt like, you know what? Everyone's going to see each other in 15, 20 days, whatever. There's no need to rush over here, right? And so I said, all right, I think that makes sense. We're going to see him in a couple weeks. It's going to be fine, right? At this point, I now obviously regret that, and I really wish I would have forced it. But again, I know I can't hold on to that guilt, right? The thing with grief is that, like, you always have perfect hindsight, and there's no way to watch out for every possible contingency, right? Otherwise, you'll be running around the whole country all the time just in case, right? But obviously, that has been very, 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 very difficult for the entire family. This is four passings in 1 year, and really only in 8 months. So that's where we are now. It's been 2 weeks since he passed. We're preparing to go to San Diego next week for the celebration of life for Mom. And I can't lie. Like, this has been the hardest year of my life. I have not had a lot of experience with grief. I haven't had a lot of training. Again, like I said, there's no manual for this. You just got to figure it out. And I definitely have fallen into a bit of a depressive slump over this last month. Not working out did not help at all. And only just now am I starting to slowly pull myself out of it. You know, I had my first leg day the other day. I'm going to start slowly going to the gym and be really careful not to pinch my neck again, because I need it. But, you know, it's hard to be creative. It's hard to be on point. And I want to get there, and I'm going to get there. But I'm also being kind with myself, being patient and understanding that, it's going to take some time. So that is why my return to YouTube has been delayed by so much more than it was originally going to be delayed. We've got a really packed rest of the year. We're going to be traveling all over the place, traveling across the country to spend time with her sisters. And we've got now multiple funerals and just a lot of stuff happening. But I will return, and pretty soon, because like I said, I got to step up for the vegan community. I think we need this, we need some strength. We need a rallying point. We need to be able to laugh at the hate and have some clapbacks. So what a year. I have literally never dealt with this much pain in my life. And I do want to just say thank you to everybody who has reached out with support. Like, it is endless, the amount of messages and texts and calls that I've gotten. Like, there's just so much support, and that I can't even express how much that means to me. Just knowing that we always have this support from many bit different directions, even people that we've never even met. Just you guys feeling that love and loyalty to me. Like, I can't even express it. It's priceless. It really has helped me a lot. So thank you. I also want to thank everybody who donated to the GoFundMe. One of our best friends secretly made a GoFundMe without me knowing, to help with the costs of both of the funerals, as well as traveling for the sisters, lodging, as well as all the other things. I don't know if you know this, but I have now just discovered that cremation cost a little over $1,000. All of it is very expensive, right? And originally I was just going to spend my own money for it, but that was so kind of her to make it. So thank you, ML. But also to all of you. Over 100 of you have donated to this fund, and so quickly, it just, I don't know. I don't know. I've just never, it never ceases to amaze me how much good there is in the world, especially when we get so distracted by everything being bad. But there's so much love in the world, and I've really felt that. And so thank you guys for donating to the GoFundMe. I've already used all of that for all of these different things, right? And things are moving fast. So thank you for the support. And the last thing I want to say is that I now have some experience with grief, and I want to share it because I think it will help you, because you will go through this too, and you might be going through it. You might have already gone through it and relate with this. But here's 3 things I want to share. Basically, you never know who is going to pass. It's not always somebody who's old and has bad health and you see them go downhill for a while. It might be one day or the next, someone you thought would never pass passes. So Mend your relationships with, family and friends who you're kind of on bad, terms with, and cherish your time with everyone that you love. Cherish it. Don't ever waste it mindlessly, right? Get off your phone, spend time with the people you love. Call up your grandma, call up your dad, all those things. Number 2 is take your time to grieve. There is literally no right time to be done. And I hear that a lot where people are like, oh, it's been enough time, I should be moving forward, or you should be moving forward, or, they wouldn't want you to be sad for this long, whatever it is. But we all process differently, and it's a very complex process. And so with that also, please let go of any guilt that you feel, because that guilt will eat you up, and you can't change what's happened, right? And number 3 is, really recommend you to do this. Film, record, audio message, pictures. Just document everybody that you love in your life as much as possible. Just make it a habit. Just when you're around people that you love, just start filming them and just be like, don't worry, it's not going anywhere. I just have it for my own keeping. And then just go back it up on Google Drive. I've been doing this for years with people that I love, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm able to look back and, have video of Franny, and I've got video of people who haven't passed, because I want to be able to look at them at their best, not just, oh no, they're about to pass and I'm going to film them in their, in their hospital. So those are the 3 things that I really wanted to share about grief, but that pretty much rounds it up. It catches you up. If you feel like something's been up with me, if you feel like I've been a little off, if you feel like I haven't had that same energy, or I've been not posting as much, you are right. I've had to take some time. And it's been very difficult to get back to the same way that I've felt before. And I'm going to get back there. And I know that. But man, does grief kick the motivation and the optimism out of you real quick. But I'm going to be okay. But I told you guys there was going to be some tears in this one. It's very raw for me. I'm a very emotional guy. I used to shove my emotions down, but I've learned not to do that. I learned to just process them, and it's definitely one of the best, changes that I've made to my life. But this has been hard. It's been hard, and we're still going through it. So that's it. I am working on the next meat grinder now. I'm telling you, this is going to be the biggest comeback of the year. We are going to take veganism to the next level. It's going to be literally the best set of content I've ever made. So keep your eye out for that. Next year is going to be our year. Apparently 2025, I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't. It's going to go down as one of the worst years of my life. But that's it. I'm going to round it up here. Again, I just wanted you guys to know what's going on and know what to expect. And I love being connected with you guys. So I want to share the good and the bad, because I think that is healthy for all of us. I think we all are going to go through bad. So it's important that we don't just share the good stuff. So thank you for watching the video. I know it was a bit longer than usual. It's a little different than usual. But I'll be back soon. I appreciate y'all.